Flat Earth British, Martin Liedtke speaking. Welcome to the Great Flat Earth British Think Tank for some cool think tanking platforms. Peace and love to you all. Let's get down to business. Okay, usage. A couple of weeks ago, or a month or so ago, I posted, holy shit, there is another enemy and it isn't Phoenicians. Left it hanging there. So what we're going to try and establish or look at in this post is who is the ultimate controller? Who is the master of this ship? Do you want to know that? Well, there might be some questions in this. I was thinking about it this morning when I was actually thinking about posting. I was thinking, I'm not sure if I even actually want to know the answer to that one, but I think at the end of the day, I think actually most of us know the answer to the questions that we ask. We just need some sort of verification that this is all true. So, what we're going to think about is the language that I'm speaking now to you. Phonetics or phonetics. Okay, and we'll think about the phone as being part of this mechanism. We're going to think about what's been carried out here. Okay, has never been carried out before. It's never happened before. It's never existed before. And as a response, okay, what we are doing has never existed before. So, want to get on with this ride? Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like this video if you did. It will not be an exceptionally long one. We're just getting for the juicage on this. I'm going to start here. I'm going to thank Vladimir. Victor's another juice master. Vladimir, juice master. Thank you for this little tidbit and putting it into some perspective for us all. We're very, very grateful. Thank you. Peace and love to all. Let's get underway. The phonies. First we're going to think about the language, and it seems since the apocalyptic events of Noah's flood, etc., that the language then split off. So after what we talk about in the book, The Light of the Pyramids, the fall of basically America, which was Atlantis, okay, in the last post on this subject. The Phoenicians, so Pronto-Canaanite, Ugaric, and then Phoenician, and everything else springing out of that, Aramaic, Samaric, Hebrew, Palameric, and Nabatean, and then onto Arabic, Persian, and a spin-off of phonetics as well. It's the dead language of the Latin used by the Vatican. It's dead because they're all dead, gone, and Western culture, Western philosophy broke off into Archaic Greek and Cyrillic, and Old Hebrew into Sumerian, and Proto-Arabic into Southern Arabic, Arabian, and Ethiopian. But don't take notice of the timescales because I'm not going with them. But one thing is for sure, the Phoenicians brought phonetics, the language, to this whole plane, mostly, except for what looks like China, Japan, Korean Peninsula, some of Tibet, maybe Nepal, and all of Mongolia. They seem to have been out of it. Now, why we no longer think it is the Phoenicians from the book, okay, I expressed we thought it was earlier on, but, you know, it seems the controllers seem to be remained unseen, and this shit ongoing that we're all living with seems to point that they have stayed unseen. So it's not the Phoenicians, okay? It seems that the Phoenicians are poster boys, if you like, for the armed forces, and below them, from wherever the Phoenicians are hiding out, there is the, you know, the Vatican and the Jesuits and the other secret societies, which are their foot soldiers, okay? So we come to the conclusion then that it wasn't the Phoenicians, although it does seem that their alphabet spread through this entire plane, which it basically did, because we're all speaking it. Now, so if they spread their alphabet of phonetics throughout the plane, they either replaced the existing one through blood and massacre, or they created something that didn't exist before. Now, for my mind, guys, the second hypothesis has to be, because of the way it resonates. They created something that didn't exist before, and I definitely think phones are part of this mechanism too. Why wasn't anything like this before, language before on this plane, is thought by people in this field. I've mentioned it, Sylvie has mentioned it, and others, that we think that the Tatarians, which we like to call them in the golden era, were telepathic and had no need for language. Okay, and I think this is true. I think our telepathic abilities for some of us has been dulled down through one mechanism and another of the Phoenicians, but I think it's awakening with this awakening. Anyway, so I feel that they didn't have a language. They basically were probably maybe telepathic, but then the implementing of the phonetics came along. But thinking on it, guys, it may not have been an evil scheme to begin with, but something that they brought to others when they escaped the disaster of Meru, America, okay, which I talked about before on my previous post, and the destruction of it, America, okay, Atlantis, caused by the fall of Lucifer, whatever Lucifer might be. I have a sneaking suspicion, okay, through what we have decoded, and our interpretation of allegorical decode is as valid as academia's any day, and I think definitely the case. So if you remember the book that I talked about on my last post, I told you concerning this subject, the Phoenicians, you will see that the book that I will link up to you is called The New Light of the Great Pyramid. It talks about the destruction and the fall of Lucifer, whatever that is anyway. So the Phonetics were a terrible war, okay, engaged with the rest of the world, along with all its depravities, and then God angrily chucked Lucifer down on them. And so the survivors sailed to other parts of the world, as we see from all the depictions we keep showing, guys, okay, arriving in ships from the water, bringing their weirdness and their Bacchanalian festivals. These festivals appear to have started as a remembrance of the destruction of Meru. But in the course of time, they degenerated into drunken orgies, and the rest we all know about, okay, from their, their sick point of view. So these are some of the questions. Okay, now let me just flick through some images for you. So there's thought to be, I know it's a crude depiction, but the idea where Atlantis was, we feel it was connected to America. And what they say is Lemuria, most of the Pacific. So if you can imagine pre-event, that's tremendous thing, okay, was all connected, okay. And this is the Japanese idea, okay, the domed seas below, or waters below, waters above, and Mount Meru is two opposing pyramids, north and south opposing magnets, and in this case you get 4 angels and a nice dome. It's an absolutely superb image. But there were peoples of Meru, America and Atlantis, right guys, and they lived in paradise, yes? So some people think this peninsula in Tartaria is thought to be Mount Meru because of its shape and of the iconography, early Christian, Jewish, Arabic, you name it, will show a domed enclosure with a pyramid in the middle showing to be Mount Meru. Meru, in the book that we looked into, is a location that is America, and all of these names in Egypt like Memphis, etc., are all actually the original locations are in America, and I feel that is the case. And it was paradise, all these beautiful red big cities, and they were very scientifically advanced, more so than the rest of the world, more like in harmony with nature. So I don't think they were using no phonetics or quantum science or science, okay. But in the course of time, guys, they degenerated into depravity and sought to dominate the entire plane through war. They got punished by God and had to find new lands. Here they are, the Olympians, or the Phoenicians, or the Atlanteans. They had to find new lands. They brought their science and their phonetics to the other parts of the world, yet never used it themselves. They finally corrupted ones who welcomed them to their shores. Here's the fall of Lucifer, and Angel Gabriel kicking him out. Him supposed to be God's favourite. And to my eyes, because of our legendary decoding of FEB British Think Tank, wings open, active charge, fasces, in Gabriel's hand, Faches in the Cherepanowski's hand. We are looking at electromagnetic technology, Lucifer, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. It's the eagle that blinds us. Now, they were already corrupted, okay, when they arrived, but it might have died off a bit in the face of extinction. So stories about survivors of Atlantis have shown that they were good-hearted from the start, but it ultimately spiraled down to crap once again, same as now. I don't know where the controllers exactly fit, I don't myself, but I keep falling back to the notion that the ultimate controller, who can bide its time and concoct plans over the span of a multitude of generations, is actually the devil. Evil. To do evil. So when I say devil, I don't actually mean a red guy with horns, like this Phoenician thought form, but something akin to the four angels. Something akin to the four angels. What we're looking at here is a geometric resonance of the sound of the vibration of the word Lucifer. Okay, so that's the geometric pattern and sound and vibration of the word Lucifer. So now, we're not talking about a bearded dude, we're talking about something akin to four angels, which is a cog in the divine mechanism of the universe. And evil is a counterpart of good, like day to night, or courage to evil. Evil has to be a part of the creation if good is as well. And evil is undeniable and dispensable part of free will granted by God in this test. So that's how I think about this test. So here they come up the shores with their grapes, things to tempt everybody, strange demonic thought forms, psyche, which we'll look into the psyche aspect of this hypothesis shortly. And they have wild parties, and I suppose in a post-apocalyptic scenario, maybe to some it was a relief from the way they've been living. So as you can see, after the classical world was destroyed, the survivors, they come in, get their free masonry. Shame we all have to pay rent for it all, but there you are. A lot of it was free, most of this masonry, and they set up the paradigm or the construct in which you're living today, every aspect of it. Okay, the ultimate controller is to do evil, the devil. So let's think about the ultimate test, shall we? Okay, that we are all basically in. Okay, I have a beautiful little analogy here. No, I can't say that I haven't thought this myself. I have as a child, okay, because I used to build Lego cities or World War One or World War Two battlefields. Okay, so this was basically a concept or an epiphany that Vlad had when he was a child. So he built a Lego city and he thought, wow, wouldn't it be really neat, okay, if he imagined, okay, that basically he could infuse life into all the little people in his Lego city, and the city would run itself like some sort of ant farm and infuse all of the life into all of the aspects of said ant farm. This is a really godlike idea, that it would be cool if we could infuse ourselves or our consciousness into the Lego people and animate their lives. So this is something like currently what God is, a consciousness that imagined and built a system based on probably the atom or torus fields to oppose in, which is powered by electromagnetism and ruled by mathematics. This power being the very essence, consciousness of God, split amongst what, if you want to call, the atoms of said reality, universe, whatever it is, in its higher forms of life. The direct way God is able to experience time, physicality, emotions, morals, etc. And this concept looks to be very God-like to me. So it's a good excuse for God not to come to the aid when you pray to him or it, or fix the wrongs of the world, because it is busy being us, the universe, and its power split, engaged in the actualization of the universe. Anyway, the whole philosophical downpour is kind of a way for me to explain the difficulty of pinpointing the controller, for the reasons being their sick plans of misery and pain. Mind you, I'm not dismissing the ones controlling us now through the times, if they are people or even some entities, be it demons or vampire-like, okay, but they are minions of the evil element, part of this construct, and they move by it and they move through it, like foam formed and carried by the waves crashing on the beach. Indeed. So let me finish with them, and I'm going to conclude that little bit in a moment. Excuse me. Okay. So, to conclude, this is actually a very, very cool image, I guess, of Book of Revelations, chapter 12, volume 9. Okay, the great dragon cast out. So, the dragon, again, very analogous. The dragon, wings open, breathes fire. We're talking about a very advanced form of technology, okay, possibly a resetter. No wonder then the Bible speaks of 144 souls that will be granted, will graduate from this experience upon the evil times, while the remaining NPCs will receive the ultimate judgment, which is not even a prediction for what is being carried out in this time and beyond. God is working in stages to perfect itself. So like I keep saying, guys, to perfect itself. So not that I want to use evolution as a term, but God consciousness is coming along with us for the ride. It's never been done this way before, and it's a whole new ball of wax, if you want to use that term. So this is a really crazy image. Again, fasces, again, plasma, these circular things that they stand on, which are very akin to advanced technology, and full of the angels, because they were angels. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out onto earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So basically, it's in the psyche, it's in the consciousness, the thought form and the vibration in the geometric field of this place, like a poison eaten away time and time again. And every single, it would seem, maybe not this one, but every single conscious experience that we have had, we seem to have failed. So this is a link I can give you about the I'll give you more details, but it goes with chronologies that I'm not really going to go with, but the advancement of phonetics throughout the eras, and there are some interesting tidbits to pick up on this, concerning this multiplication into Greek, alpha beta, okay, alphabet, and the distinctions between that and the way it went through of the entire plane onto the Etruscans, which are thought to be Slavic, which is the Russian Empire. So it's just linked. Every single part of this thing is linked together. So writing systems of the day, mostly the Western world, is on the phonetic system. And there's that book, okay, the mind blower we were talking about earlier, okay, New Light of the Great Pyramid, and it talks about terrible events happening in American continent, or what they call Atlantis, or actually Meru in this book, and the fall of Lucifer, and some terrible catastrophe, and then going on to other lands, being at war, and then basically, like we've always proposed, the Phoenicians were foot soldiers for a greater power, evil. Okay, so they may have started out good, and they may have been, forfeited through temptation, greed, the usual, what everyone's fucking up with in this place, guys. Yeah. So more thoughts, and on with the post, and we're gonna think about basically the paradigm, the Phoenician paradigm of this place, isn't it? The opposition. This could be the psyche, the good side and the bad side, both needed, both very essential to the whole mechanism, and as is time. The giant titanic world that went before it. Not sure where the oceans are here. They look to be like dried out or something. Interesting little image. So let's move on. We're actually showing them at the moment. I've got some other stuff to get on with. So I definitely think phones also. We've had endless depictions of Phoenicians with sort of a mirror which looks like Skype, and we've shown you on Fat of British in the 1920s, 1930s. This tech was out. There's two ladies there connecting up in a street in 1922. Mobile technology, wireless mobiles, 1922, and they connected up to some sort of what they call well, I call her bollard, but other people call them hydrants. And in Hollywood movies, countless things out there on the internet that show you that these things were further back, and the phone ticks is definitely part of it. So that's a time traveler. It's not supposed to be in reality, given to us by them, but that's another part of this fake history that we keep getting. So let's have a look at the Phoenician input onto the art scene. It's very, very beautiful. Okay, it's beautiful symmetry. So how can beauty be associated with great evil, what these people commit? But you can see almost the temptation maybe, or the advancement of that backside idea through their artwork. I'll give you an idea. The symphony. The symphony is beautiful. The music is symphony. It's their language in music through form and experience. And what does that symphony give you? Well, it can give you feelings of emotion, feelings of maybe feeling romantic, maybe. Now, all of these are very Phoenician sort of feelings, aren't they? Are they our real essence? Is this what we're about? Is these inputted feelings? What would this place, this realm really be like if we were truly ourselves? We would not need them. We would be truly elated all of the time. Okay, so these are probably three witches of the Phoenicians, which you have a lot of, and you get these bas reliefs of the Phoenicians. Excuse me. So these are from the British Museum, and what you got here is a Moor with Psyche. Now I found that amusing because Psyche, obviously these are two deities of the Phoenicians, or what they call Greeks, which are the Phoenicians. So Psyche, we regard today is what they call mental construct or mental processes, or whatever they call it, but Psyche, okay, and Amor and Psyche are together, so suggesting that love is part of the psyche. And all of these characters, like this is supposed to be Paris, the city of Paris is named after one of those deities. And you'll find most of the Phoenician paradigm, the Western world, has some sort of association with their crazy deities. This family, these survivors that came over from Atlantis and brought their ways, and maybe not at first, maybe, because you see love with them, and then this has confused us. It's like, is there a paradox going on? Is there two different types of Phoenicians, the good and the bad? You see some we call righteousness or what have you, but it doesn't look too evil, is what I'm saying. It's beautiful. So maybe at first, finding your way after the apocalypse, you just lost your classical world, your advanced technology, you bring remnants of it with you. which are in the Rubens artworks. I think this is a definite case, guys, that some of these are the classical art of the classical world left over from Atlantis in a museum for us to muse over. Muse in. Another part of the Bacchanalian festival is to muse. Okay, it's about vanity, and the Bacchanalian festival was actually banned in the Roman Empire apparently under Caesar, and you had to have special permission by the Senate to carry out one. So they were like out of control. You don't want the whole population getting pissed and fornicating every day. It's not a way to conduct business. So these classical art forms are about beauty, and they seem a bit messed up. There seem to be two sides of the psyche. This is Phoenician god. Okay, this is a Phoenician deity who's a conehead, and he's got his happy hat on. That is a Phoenician. Okay, Babylon, if you like. And this is this paradise classical world, but it's not so paradise, is it? It's people dying. And this is Cleopatra just hanging out and watching people dying. But their world, their Phoenician experience is, again, it's luxurious, isn't it? It's the highest of quality. But they too were to fall. And she was going to get bit on the ass. No, she got bit by an asp. That's right. And this is an old Greek coin. Okay, but again, it will show you the Phoenicians, curly hair, spikes. That's Lucifer. And Lucifer is Babylon. And Lucifer is welcoming everybody that comes into New York Harbour, because Lucifer, Lady Liberty. The Libertines are an offshoot of Lucifer, and the whole paradigm that they spin today in Hollywood in the modern day is a spin-off of this apparent beautiful character of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Lucifer. So it all basically spirals out of control, as it always does. Now we're moving on. New thoughts. I'll conclude there later, guys, but I think that is, I'm going to really enjoyed that. Bits from contributed by Victor, very well put, thank you for that. But it does go deeper, but I feel that, yeah, we are projecting our realities in this place, and I feel that these thought forms, these Phoenicians, these Bacchus are definitely in you with us, and that would be the fall of man in the Bible. That we never had it before, and it never came here before, and these thoughts were never there before. These stupid ass thoughts are jumping out of nowhere, and you got to have something living in your head which is basically not your friend, is your enemy through your entire life, and it keeps fucking you up. It'll kill you if it can. Is that normal? It's for everybody. It's called the human condition. It isn't. There's beyond that. That's got to go. Say the fuck off. So moving on. Another great fascination of mine, new subject, just to fill up the time to the end of this vlog, it'll only be about an hour or so up to images, is the Great War, guys. And all I can see for the Great War is more exercise in eradicating the old world, okay, First World War, is all of these antiquity buildings and so-called churches, antiquity buildings are bombed. And what was apparently a red brick worldage, okay. This is Fort Vaux exposed in the mud, and after all of the holes you can see are obviously craters, but what it did expose is this is a really old star fort. Is Fort Vaux. It was in a chain. There was Fort Vaux, Fort Dumont, another on this line, part of the Badger line, above ground. They were all line of star forts which got completely zapped by 1,000 massive German howitzers. But as you can see here, underground, you could drive a train under all year. They had underground trains along the Maginot. Apparently Fort Vaux got taken by one bloke, apparently, and the other one, they were trapped in there and licking the water off the walls, had a terrible time. So here's the French. They had a terrible time in the First World War. No wonder they packed it in the Second World War and didn't want any of it after their time in Verdun, etc. But I can't see that doing shit, you know, shooting that really, really powerful machine gun into the air at a plane. It's made of plywood, it'll just go through and carry on flying. So, you know, not all of Europe got decimated. I'm finding it's a certain area of France, bit of Flanders apparently, bit Belgium, right away down to the Swiss border, and on the eastern coast, excuse me, the eastern front in the First World War as well. There was a lot of damage in places like Tannenberg and that. But look at this, it's all boarded up, it's older world, nobody around except for a horse and cart. Could we be looking at the images of a reset from further back and they're just chucking it into the narrative of the First World War and we can't be there to verify it? So what happened here? Were there men stowed up in this massive, you know, granite building, and then he just cannoned it or machine gunned it? Probably. Wow, that must have been a bit of a scene. Whew. In the First World War. And machinery, look at the size of this machinery. 1918, I should guess, on these photographs. But look at the buildings, everything's mud flooded. Nearly everything you see in First World War is an older world that is seemingly really advanced, you know, technologically. You know, I think, you know, when they're blacking out these skies, you know, vanilla sky, you know, not in these, but the older photographs, I keep imagining like giant buildings that shouldn't be there, giant chimneys and flying machines, and, you know, basically like flipping, you know, sci-fi film, Blade Runner type of thing, only better, and Tatarian. So yeah, they gutted out all of these things, nothing left. Bombing them out. And cathedrals, endless amounts of cathedrals, all gutted by the war, the zone of the war, as they called it. Everything in there was mammalised, and they're going through what looks like the remnants of some building there. Probably find some dittos, and the refugees by the million. The programming of the government makes sure people shift en masse, because they say like, ooh, what's that on the door? Goat or something. They say to people en masse, yeah, the Germans are coming and a bunch of raping, hoarding Huns, so I get on a move if I were you, because they ain't nice. She's looking after soldiers' guns for them while they're going in a booze, so that's nice. I'm looking after the man's guns for him. Let me have a go. This is not Notre Dame, this is the other Notre Dame. You know, I was going to say Amiens, I think it's Nîmes, I'm not sure. But look at the state of this city. All mud flooders as well. All of them, always. Just gone. But what I'm showing you for, because they're absolutely beautiful colour images. HD of the First World War. Nice little Dutch city, took a pounding, some things through the air. They could have incendiaried that and the whole city would have been gone, so it was very kind of them. Not in that case. So yeah, lots of cities disappeared in the First World War along with the Second, and an older world hiding a bigger secret. Make sure you take out all our tech. Look at the walls on this thing. You know, there's a wheel, a pump out obviously in there or something, but look at the size of these bastions and the thickness of these walls. Bad windows. What were these things originally in the old world? Look at the background. It's like an abbey. Like an abbey. Factory abbey. So, First World War in colour. Now, a couple of questions. Some more First World War generated colour photographs, but they are beautiful. I think this might be Operation Market Garden, Second World War, if I'm not mistaken, but the rest are First World War. So, yeah, something I've read a hell of a lot about, all aspects of it. You know, what they say of certain battles, because I've had a bit of an affinity with it. I keep thinking I was there in a previous life. Operating a Vickers gun and get shot in the leg on a railway line. That's what I keep thinking. And the advent, apparently, of the first tank. Okay, the first tank. We got to think tank going, haven't we? So why are they called tanks? Apparently, they were a secret being made. Okay, and if anyone was to ask in the factory, what are we making? They say water tanks. So the tank is named after water tanks. So the cavalry had their last go in reality in the First World War, because you can't really pit horses and men against the Vickers or Maxim machine guns, because that's stupid. They found that out straight a fucking way. As you've seen on the film War Horse, if you've seen that. So you spend your day dodging giant rats, eating bully beef, which is, if it's hot in summer, liquid out of a can of beef, or billy beef, and a bit of bread if you're near the billets, if you're lucky. If you're not and you're out in, you know, near no man's land, out on the front, you might not see food for days at a time. You might have to have rat barbecue, I shit you not, or not even eat. And they all live like that, millions. So yeah, they went off in good, good spirits, apparently, leaving at the stations. Every city rounded up tens of thousands, what they call pals. So they kept people from their own community together, best mates together, so they could stay together through the entire war experience. And, obviously, they never come back. Many, a million British people died almost on this little island. 1 million is a big loss at that time. There must have been only 50 million at the time. Communication tower for the wireless, and all of the sciences that came into the world during the First World War. Sandbags, epic. The red brick up behind them. Oh, this is later. This is Second World War. This is D-Day. Saying hello to the nice French people, waving at them. Oh hee haw. And the shell holes. If you had one of these, you're just going to drown anyway. Okay, and he lives down in there. That's his house where he lives, and it's flooded upstairs. So it's nasty, and it's full of dead bodies. Falling them. You're gone. And the tanks. The Germans had them too, but when they came over, the Germans were surrendering en masse apparently. Oh shit. So he's a good British soldier from earlier than the First World War, so he's going back to the Crimean War, 1860s. Check him out. It's a Coldstream Guard, I think, yes. Yeah. And he's got a big bear skin on his head, which they call a bear skin. His beard goes with it. It's really nice. I wonder if he uses the same shampoo for his furry hat that he does for his beard. But yeah, I think this was a dead loss, red shirts in war, because basically it looks like you're covered in blood already and you stand out. Took a little while for the British Army to get the idea of camouflage, because apparently they were daft as brushes. Apparently. So yeah, the telephone of the day was a pigeon. Stick a message on its leg, let Jerry, or the Germans, shoot at that, because they won't be able to, or send a runner, because the communication lines kept getting chopped down. His boots are a bit clean. Maybe he has somebody to wash him, brush him. And that's how you'd live. That's your day. Sitting in a shell hole, saying, oh, I wish we were going frigging home. What's this all about, this war? Oh, I don't know, kings and stuff in it, money. So, a lot of the people, they used to sing, what are we fighting for? It was one of their songs. Because all of them realised this was folly. It was murder, mass murder, and a way of calling the people en masse, a bit like they're doing now. But Frankie Boyle, never liked that guy, the British comedian, Scottish comedian. Thought it was a bit of a tip, but he said something that shows me that he's not really one of them. He done a tweet yesterday saying, oh, they won't kill anyone, all of us just fucking, yeah, because they want us all to have loads of babies in their camps. Us have loads of children, like Covidians, or Covidians, for them to fuck around with. And maybe that's it. Maybe they're not killing everyone off just yet. Maybe they want everyone to stay in, make babies for us, we'll kill you all later and grab your killed kids, and then there's your next orphans. Does any of this makes fucking sense? Because it does to me, guys. Where does all of the parents go for all of them orphans, guys? Think about it. They say cholera, another epidemic for some of them, for some narratives. Use the Irish Rifles just on at the Battle of the Somme. They're going to go over. This guy definitely knows he's got like half hour to live. They're all a bit too stupid. I think these are all the same family, cousins, because they got this stupid fucking grin on them. But he knows. He knows exactly what's coming, because he's going to be like, covered in shit. Excuse me, madam, I'm going to kids of my own. Can I just grab your 2 daughters for a photograph? But look at this, no pavement. She's got a house just built on a slab and just mud. And there's all like mud piles here. It's weird. The red brickers, just like that, like really like the pavement's been torn away. So I guess that is his family. And the British, before they go off to Gallipoli, and they all had a little excursion to the pyramids to infuse their bullshittery. So here's the Anzacs, the Aussies. They also got battered at and fucked up badly at really bad management. Not their fault, they were ultimately brave as fuck always. But like, they had simpletons in charge. As always. lions led by sheep. And these were the Aussies, the Anzacs. But yeah, they gave the Greeks what for, but they actually liked them. They said, they're jolly good fellows, don't really want to shoot at them. Is this really necessary? And the Turks apparently felt the same, so it was a bit of a shit. So yeah, how to get rid of 1 million men of each country. Oops. And cut down surplus population. Now, I'm going to show you a video now, which I've downloaded, okay? And there's some clues in it, but I'm going to run it quick, because I don't want to get a copyright, because I'm only on one channel, 2 channels, because of the strikes. And it shows Groningen in Holland, 1919, when all of this shit has been going down here in this photograph, okay? This city in Holland, okay, seems to be relatively unaffected by the whole occasion. So, 1919, First World War hasn't visited Groningen. My first question is, excuse me, it is fantastic, this city, by the way, okay? Let me just speed it up. What I find fascinating is, this city's not that massive, but what they are doing is they are all going to work like on Westminster Bridge in London, all in one direction, a couple coming in the other, but all immaculately dressed, few with cases like they are arrivals. Take a look. I've sped it up. It's a lot of people. Maybe it is 8:30 in the morning, they're all going to work. But check out the architecture, mud flooders. Oh, let's slow it down a bit. I don't like it that speed. Maybe a little bit quicker. Okay, that's better. So yeah, let's just have a look at this film. So yeah, they have a little like trek around. All mud flooders deep. All mud flooders deep. It's the old world. You can see the mud's all up here, and all these buildings are half buried. But you see a lot of real life going on, which is interesting. Same thing going on with the suicidal cyclists, but everyone's immaculately dressed. Boys there watching the cameraman stuck on the front of the tram again, which you always see. Antiquity on the building in front. Very, very nice indeed. So let's mosey on through forward a bit. So yes, beautiful, beautiful Groningen. They have a beautiful star fort there, I have seen. But this is a beautiful colorized image, and look at that old world left over. Wow. Half of it's buried. Yeah, this quality, look at the quality in this. The older world, how fantastic it was compared to now. Have a look now, wait. Never mind the wrought iron railings, how beautiful, and the lights and everything. Check out the architecture. Everybody's spotless. Everything swims along nicely. And they got an unusual antiquity building further along. If I can just show you. So it's a beautiful city, it's got some industry going on. What their commerce is, I don't know, for that many people to be entering the city. Very, very busy. So usual scenario, looks like a good marketplace, getting ready. Everything going down, beautiful bit of footage. Don't know where he's from a clock tower, I guess, or something, but he's going to pan in on this Greco-Romano temple building, half buried. Look at that, Groningen City Hall. Wow, steps in the air, Greco-Romano temple, a little bit of the classical world left over. Post reset. Wow. So, let's move on a little bit. And this thing here, look, this tower here. So it looks like that Amsterdam film we've all been showing. I've showed on a month or two ago. It's like it's all set up. Everyone knows it's there. He's looking over. They're looking over. How do you know? How do you know it's there? You just walk. So look at that. So just keep an eye on this lady here. He's looking straight at the camera. Right. Ah! How did she know? How did she know? Let's have a look at the others. He's looking straight at the camera. We're way away from the camera here. They're way away. So the camera's down by here. They're looking at it. The kids are looking at it. He's looking at it. Did he shout for their attention? It's 1919. I'm sure people have seen cameras before this point. I propose that this is pre-World War I. I propose this is old film. I propose this could be from another age. Look at this one. The W over the door. There's a kid in sailor suit. They look like little orphans then, don't they? Oh, don't feel sad. So, wow, look at this building. It's fantastic, red bricker. What's everyone doing? Where's everyone going? And all performing for the camera. And of course, World War I hasn't bloody touched this place. Not in the slightest. It's fantastic architecture, antiquity. Look at the depth on these mud flooders. Absolutely beautiful colour fill. Let's move on a little bit. 666. I don't know why that's 6668 on there. Is that the time? That looks digital. Hang on, guys. Hang on. My brain. Let's have a little look. So the time is 2:45. Would you agree with that? Okay. Or maybe 9:15 in the morning. No, it's 10:15. Excuse me, it was 10:15. 668. What would that be? What shop is it? Well, that was spooky. Anyway. So, what happens when we come out this street? What do we discover? We're outside the City Hall, that big Greco-Roman building, all mud flooders all around, beautiful architecture. On an electric tram. It's no motor car. Should be a motor car because it's 1915. The Cinema Palace is up and running, so we've got the movage, and there's beautiful tram carriage, antiquity booths everywhere. Okay, that's fantastic. I really enjoyed that. So let us move on our Flat Earth British vlogage. Now, I'm just going to show you some images I found of more of Lucknow in India, the place that fell from the rebellion against the Raj by the Indians. And it just looks like a completely reset civilization, and older photographs again. You get all of these amazing power stations, these antiquity devices. There's only ever a few people around. The whole place is wrecked. We have seen multiple pictures of just skulls and dead people in Lucknow. But honestly, they're in the remnants of just the most fabulous civilization. Look at this one, blackened. Oh, what does that? Cannonballs blacken this building. Is this really British cannonade that has done that? Look at this. This entire place is dustified into dust. I don't think cannons can do that. I just showed you the effects in the First World War cannons through the roofs, guys. They left holes. These buildings in Lucknow are dustified. Gone. This area's gone. It's crazy whatever happened there. And beautiful older civilization. Just wrecked by the British Raj. Nothing outside this temple except for mud fields and stuff. But very, very interesting. Anyway, let's move on. Now, plenty of you have been emailing me saying I can't get Flat Earth British photo drop anymore. Photo dump. No, you can't. The link seems to be broken, but not on my Flat Earth British website. It seems to work for me. So there's a few of us on here. Now I have put 1,000, maybe 2,000 images, and I will put more up when I get the time onto Flat Earth British Think Tank photo drop. And I'll leave the link in the descriptions box. It is fabulous stuff on here. Endless amounts of usage. They're all nectary. Free energy, antiquity, maps, with all this juiciness, guys. So I'll link it up. You know, it's good for vlogs and personal collections, the railways. And I was actually looking at my own personal photo drop. It's absolutely fantastic. There's other people involved in the photo dropness. My own personal photographs are just fab. Absolutely fab. If I go back in time, you know, just to these, just all really fab stuff. I wish there was a way I could get all of my photo dropped to you, but it would be some effort, I'm sure. There's so many of them to download it, re-upload it, etc. But absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to come back and conclude for today. Actually, I've got some more images I might want to share with you. Okay. Excuse me. And then it'll be like an hour and a half. And this will be up later tonight on Flat Earth British Martin Liedtke channel. Okay, hope you enjoyed 3 Ages Martin. I know, it was a bit strange, just go with it. So, nobody catches it in the artworks more. The Fall of Lucifer, of Blake. Okay, Paradise Lost, Milton, etc. We all know the old Paradise Lost narrative, etc. And the Fall of Lucifer, but it's caught in Blake's artwork, and it's supposed to be really quite prophetic. You've got the Masonic thing here going on with the compass through some silver, or excuse me, golden portal. Okay. And some sort of interaction with wild beasts and humans and an angel. So this is a Blake's picture from Paradise Lost, and you get I guess this is like the Revelations version of Satan, the many-headed beast, etc. You got Virgil and his story of vampirism, I guess, and the fall of man in Paradise Lost. Blake's artworks are fantastic, though, I must say. Look at that giant there, hanging off a cliff. So he did giants, and he did mythology, and he did reset. All in the Phoenician paradigm of electromagnetic technology and the demonic fourform, which is in this matrix, in this projection, and is messing with the split is curable, and it can go for everybody in this place. So bring in a new golden era of new thought, new ways of thinking, something that has never been done before. You in? Yeah, of course you are. Anyway, I'm going to come back for a minute. Shoot at there, and thank you very much. This has been a shorter than normal post today. Flat Earth British. We'll be back, hopefully. This is why this is a shorter post on Flatterday, for a Flatterday show. All goes well, I should be there, so hopefully. So thank you all. It's been a really busy week. My comments have been like just mad busy and brilliant stuff coming in, so make sure to keep any thoughts. I do read all comments and I get back to emails. Now I get a lot of people emailing me wanting to go on shows or have private FaceTime with them and basically getting their hair off with me when I don't do their beckoning. Now that's no good, okay? I have to do this because this is what's happening. Also have other people, okay, which is more worrying, that write to me thinking that I'm actually sending them, let me put this right how it was phrased, oh yeah, spiritual messages. No, I can assure anybody out there, the television box with me on, okay, is not sending you any fucking thing whatsoever. It's just me talking to you about alternative history. Okay, so if anyone's weirding out and thinking that I'm actually talking to them personally, I'm talking to the great whole of Flat Earth British. Okay, that's just weird in itself. So I get all that as well. So onward we go. So make sure to subscribe, as I said. Support my channel if you feel that it is worthy of said support, and bring your love, okay, and up your vibration, okay. And I'll hopefully see you Saturday. So, flat films. Flat films. And to conclude, yeah, I think that's a definite thing. I think that resonates a lot with me and the descriptions we've got from multiple accounts. So just to summarise, I think that something was created, never been created before. The phonetics, the language which is encompassing this place, okay, which is strange geometric thought forms through vibration, through our chords, okay, which is a type of magic which has invocations and construction in the matrix. It's all very, very strange, but can be neutralized. No opposition in this place, and no nasty thought forms. Everyone existing in a really, really nice place. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Anyway, don't take no notice of the Rona, it's not real. They just gone weird, okay? I don't even want to talk about them, okay? Like the 20 or loads of new strains, African ones, etc. And that, they're just telling you this shit's never going to go away. You lot need to do something about it, whoever's going to be left, is what they're telling you. It's not going away. Love and light. See you on the next one. Yay.